This is a machine that just learned to recognize a cat. And this is a machine that sent Hollywood into a panic. It's 2026, and the tech has become honestly ridiculous. But how on earth did we get here? Hi, I'm Adil. Let's break it down. Act 1. The origin. In 1950, Alan Turing decided to stop arguing about the philosophy of consciousness and proposed a simple practical test. If you can't tell you're talking to a machine, does it count as intelligent? This is known as the Turing test. A few years later, at a 1956 summer workshop at Dartmouth, a group of scientists coined the term artificial intelligence. This was the start of AI as a formal research agenda. But for decades, AI was symbolic. It relied on rigid, hand-coded rules. Essentially, a massive logic-based, if this, then that machine. It was brilliant in math, but completely lost in the real world. It could calculate a moon landing trajectory, but it couldn't tell you if a picture was a cat or a toaster. Act 2. The shift. Now, the modern breakthrough came when we stopped giving computers rules and started giving them data. This is what modern AI actually is at its core: pattern recognition. The real turning point for visual AI happened in 2012 with something called a CNN, Convolutional Neural Network, named AlexNet. By feeding it millions of labeled images, the AI learned to recognize a dog, a car, or a stop sign. But throwing millions of images at a computer only works if the machine can actually digest them. It turns out the same GPUs built to render video games were the perfect engines for crunching out massive amounts of AI data simultaneously. Honestly, if it weren't for gamers, the AI revolution might have never happened. Act 3. The present. And here's where we draw the line between AI and generative AI. Traditional AI analyzes data to make a decision. Generative AI uses that analysis to create entirely new, original data. In 2014, a researcher named Ian Goodfellow invented GANs, Generative Adversarial Networks. It pitted two AIs against each other, a forger trying to paint a fake painting, and a detective trying to spot the fake. They fought until the forger was so good, the detective couldn't tell the difference. While GANs were perfecting the art of imitation, a new architecture emerged in 2017. That would change everything: the transformer. If a GAN is like two people arguing over a painting, a transformer is like a speed reader with a photographic memory. Unlike previous models that process words one by one, the transformer introduced self-attention. This allowed the AI to look at an entire paragraph and understand how a word at the beginning changes the meaning of a word at the end. It didn't just recognize patterns, it understood relationships. This was the fundamental game changer. This architecture became the blueprints for a new era, the large language model, LLM. It was the perfect DNA for what came next. In November 2022, OpenAI dropped a bomb called ChatGPT. It wasn't just another chatbot like the brittle ones from the 60s. It was an LLM trained on massive amounts of internet data. For the first time, a machine didn't just search for an answer, it reasoned through one. This was the iPhone moment for AI. It shifted the conversation from what can a computer do to what can't it do. ChatGPT proved that if you give a model enough data and enough computing power, intelligence starts to emerge. It set the stage for everything that followed. Because once we taught AI to speak our language, we realized that we could use that same transformer architecture to help it see and eventually to move. With the world now obsessed with creation, the focus shifted back to visuals. This is where diffusion models come in. Here's how they work. Start with a real image. Gradually add noise until it's basically static. Train a model to reverse that, step by step. Remove the noise until an image appears. Now, instead of starting from a real photo, you start with pure noise and denoise into a brand new image. The diffusion era really ignited with Stable Diffusion 1.5. This was the workhorse of the open source community. For the first time, anyone with a decent graphics card could generate high-quality images at home. Once we had images, the next obvious step was video. People wanted it so badly, they started tricking image generators into hallucinating motion. Enter Diffusion. It wasn't true video generation. It was a brilliant, desperate hack. It used math to continuously zoom and pan into Stable Diffusion's latent space, dragging one image into the next. While Diffusion was busy faking motion through clever camera tricks, a new breakthrough arrived that changed the math: AnimateDiff. It was the first time we taught the AI to understand consistency over time. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, researchers created a motion module that could be snapped onto existing image models. It didn't just zoom into a still image. It learned how a person moves, how hair flows, and how light changes across frames. It was the first bridge between a static picture and a living scene. But teaching a machine to see time turned out to be a messy process. To get real, unscripted action, we needed native video models. But the early results, they were digital nightmares. This was the era of the infamous ModelScope and those spaghetti-eating videos I'm sure you've all seen. It was incredibly trippy, heavily inconsistent, but it was our first glimpse into AI motion. As images got prettier, two massive problems remained: prompt adherence, getting exactly what you asked for, and text. In 2024, Flux 1 Dev changed the game. It was a massive architectural leap that finally allowed AI to understand complex spatial prompts and render legible high-fidelity text on signs, shirts, and screens. But raw power isn't the same as taste. That's where Higgsfield Soul came in. It shifted the focus from random generation to true creative direction, specifically for fashion and aesthetics. We solved the consistency problem with Soul AD, which allowed users to upload a few photos of yourself, and the AI learns your face as a permanent character you can drop into any scene. The workflow then evolved even further into a dialogue. Models like Nano Banana turned it into a conversation. It wasn't just type and pray anymore. You could iteratively edit and refine specific parts of an image, as if you were talking to a human designer. This level of realism brought us to an inflection point. With deepfakes becoming nearly indistinguishable from reality, visual truth became less reliable. If anyone can use these technologies to put any face into any scene, how can we tell what is real? Moving from images to video isn't just a step, it's a massive leap. Video isn't just one picture, it's 24 pictures per second. And the AI has to remember what happened in frame 1 so that frame 24 makes sense. This is called temporal consistency. In early 2024, OpenAI announced Sora, and the world went wild.
This is coming from OpenAI. They just released Sora. This is the highly anticipated video generation tool.
It was the first time we saw a model truly understand 3D physics. Although we didn't get public access for another year, at which point the hype kind of died down. Soon after, competitors like Kling, MInimax, Pika, and many others stepped into the game. But there was no huge breakthrough for quite some time. We were getting minor improvements. Raw video generation wasn't enough for real filmmakers. We needed tools. Luma Dream Machine and Runway pioneered keyframing. For the first time, you could upload a starting frame and an ending frame, and the AI would bridge the gap between and perfectly calculate the transition between them. Later, Veo 3.1 took this even further by merging that interpolation with native synchronized audio. So the AI wasn't just filling in frames, it was adding sound to the movement it just invented.
Just gotta listen.
Finally, to make a movie you need cuts. Models like ByteDance's Seedance introduced true multi-shot storytelling. Using advanced multi-model engines, creators could feed the AI images, video, and audio simultaneously. By using universal tags to lock-in characters, we could finally direct complex, multi-camera sequences where the visual identity and the cinematic flow never broke across the cuts. Fast forward to 2026. Kling 2.0 and Seedance 2.0 came out just 1 week apart and absolutely rocked the AI world. We're getting videos that don't just look cinematic, they behave like physical reality. We're no longer talking about 5 or 10-second looping clips. We're talking about minutes of sustained, high-quality narrative, where the illusion never breaks. The impact on the film industry has been explosive. AI video generation is getting more and more sophisticated, which has drawn the attention of major studios, raising legal questions that no one has fully answered yet. The conversations unfolding in courtrooms and boardrooms right now will define what AI creativity will look like in the future. Laws are written in years. AI evolves in weeks. In just a few short years, we went from writing complex code to make an image slightly zoom in, to getting coherent, realistic movies from just a few words. This leads to the ultimate question that has haunted the field since Turing's 1950 paper. When does the simulation of intelligence become the real thing? As we look at the sheer velocity of these breakthroughs, one term keeps surfacing everywhere: AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. This is the holy grail, a machine that possesses the ability to understand, learn, and most importantly, apply its intelligence to any intellectual task a human can. But as the tech gets closer to that AGI finish line, we're left with the most important question of all. If a computer can eventually do everything we can do, only faster, cheaper, and perfectly, what is the one thing that will always remain uniquely ours? I'm Adil. Thank you for walking with me through the history of the future.